Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Jimmy Good, and joining me this week is a very special guest, my twin sister, Katie. Katie, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Katie, you are no stranger to being on Critical Reviews, though.
No.
First time on the podcast.
Yes, today is the first time.
Today is the first time.
Formally watching. I've watched it many times.
You can see the dynamic is already electric. It's great, and Katie actually came up with the idea of putting all this stuff here.
That's fun.
So,
Figment.
we're going to talk about this stuff briefly, but I do want to talk about Katie first because you might have seen her on Disney Duo in the past, but usually on the show here we talk about movies, games, TV and stuff. Favorite movie, favorite game, favorite TV show? Or favorites?
Favorites. Starting with movie, probably go to Wedding Crashers is always my answer.
Is your favorite movie of all time?
It's just been one that I can go back to time and time again and enjoy it.
Yeah,
so,
no, it's a funny movie.
That one, and I really like Billy Madison a lot.
Billy Madison's great. Would not fly today.
What?
That movie would not fly today.
No, it would not. It's completely inappropriate. But
yeah.
It's great. Next, you want to do music or game, you said?
Oh, yeah, or music's good too, yeah.
Music too.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about music.
No, I know.
That's good. Talk about it.
Music?
Katie loves music. Katie's a good singer.
Debates.
No debates.
Thank you. Okay, if we're talking about music, Sarah Bareilles, Brendan Urie, my favorite singers.
You know what I like about Sarah Bareilles?
What's that?
She is a very talented singer, and she looks like... She does, at least in the past when I used to kind of follow her a little more, she looks like just someone you know what I mean? Like, she's not like she owns it. She's just that person. Kind of Lizzo-esque, like, nowadays.
Lizzo's good too, though.
Lizzo's great.
Yeah, she's just blown up in the past couple of years.
Lizzo does not care.
No,
I want to meet
amazing.
Lizzo.
I know,
she would be so much fun to
She's
hang out
from
with.
Minnesota.
I love it. We talk about the Vikings, but I've... Well, she's got that new man on the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, God.
Probably not true. Also, I don't care about football.
I was going to say...
Don't care.
Okay. Game? Are you ready for it? Because I'm not.
I'm like, no, we're not. What?
Well, it has to be between either Harvest Moon.
Okay.
Like...
64?
Yeah.
Well, it's your favorite game of all time, and you just said, yeah.
Well, I'm just generalizing.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Harvest Moon as a series.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then Animal Crossing, which is coming out next week.
Yeah.
The New Horizons. So, looking forward to it.
Are you getting it?
I'm hoping so, but a lot of people are talking about the buying of the game.
Well,
like buying months in advance before it's even out, so I don't know that it's going to be easy to get it in store.
Oh, you can get a copy. Were you gonna buy a copy? Because I was gonna buy you a copy.
I don't know yet.
Because if I bought you a copy, you'd have to stream it. You'd have to come play it.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. I have not been playing Pocket Camp.
It won't make you sick.
No, that's like one of the only games in the world that won't make me sick.
That's good.
It's so fun and chill, and you just don't have to really do anything if you don't want to. You can design your character and your house. I liked Pocket Camp, and then I got busy, so I couldn't play it as much anymore. Because that you could just like sit and play. I
think it's a testament to the fans of the franchise, and I like to poke fun because I love the fans of this franchise, but I love that when it got pushed back, people were like losing their minds, and like the Animal Crossing fan base, I think, is so like vehemently in love with being relaxed that the moment you say that that's going to take a little while longer, they like lose their minds, which is, I find it so endearing because like they want it so badly. Like, it's like, oh, that's cool. They love that game so much. You could love that game so much.
Yeah, and I've loved it forever.
Yeah.
I know I didn't play it on like the handheld Nintendo systems as much when they came out way back in the day, but I think the first one was on GameCube that I played.
Yeah, that's what we played, yeah. I remember being frustrated because the bells, I didn't like the bells, that they were bells, and I didn't like that I owed Tom Nook so much money, so I didn't like that game. I liked Harvest Moon 64.
Like Tom Nook.
No, a lot of people don't like Tom Nook. That's the whole point, right? You're not supposed to like him. But now you're on an island. It'll be fun.
And I think he's still going to be a part of it somehow.
Besides those farming sim games, well, and maybe Animal Crossing is not a farming simulator, but What is there any other games that come to mind that you like?
Again, Stardew Valley, but that's a farming game.
You were into Gears for a bit.
Yes, Gears of War. That's what's up. Copyright music infringement.
We were saying Locust Forever today.
Yeah, we were
on our walk. It was good. Good game.
Yeah, we used to play hours of that.
I got Katie and Amanda into it. It was so great.
Just not even campaign. Oh my god, I gotta talk right now.
Horde mode.
Horde mode was great. Yeah, but then they kind of deterred from that for a little bit. Are they back into it?
No, Horde mode's better than there. It's more complex than it's ever been.
I'm talking about like years ago.
Oh,
just what was it?
Oh, Gears of War Judgment.
Judgment.
We played Judgment, and then that was like the last one you guys played. I think.
Yeah, I haven't played it since then.
4 or 5. Yeah.
What's it on now?
It's on 5. They call it just Gears 5 now. It's not Gears of War anymore. It's Gears 5.
Oh, really?
And their lead guy, Rod Ferguson, just left to go be the director for Diablo 4, which is pretty darn sweet. I'm excited about it, and he's really excited about it. And people are like, "Why are you leaving?" He's like, "Because it's Diablo." He's like, "I love Diablo. It's my favorite game." So
I have played Diablo.
Oh yeah.
I think the last one.
Did you play 3? What was your favorite class?
Was it the witch something? See, it's been a while.
Witch Doctor?
Yeah, Witch Doctor.
Like the creep.
Yeah, the creep to the creep.
Yeah.
That and
I called him Dreadman, and I was like, "Here comes Dreadman," or Deadman. I loved him so much, and I'd summoned my big zombie, and I had a name for him, and I don't recall it.
Yeah, the zombie.
I loved him.
Yeah, I haven't played that game. I haven't really played a lot of games. That's why I don't really know what anything's called anymore.
That's fine. How about TV?
Oh, I wasn't done.
Oh, sorry.
And World of Warcraft, I could play that forever.
Wow. Horde or Alliance?
Horde. However, there are some Alliance... there are some Alliance classes that are really cool. And...
Can't, like, it feels like almost every race can be every class now,
I'm at race, yeah. But, yeah.
What do you play? What's your main? Or what was your main? Because people want to know. People are going to want to know. They're going to be like, "Oh, she said Horde, but what?"
You know... I'm just thinking because I would start over because I like doing the grind, like the farming and all that stuff. But I know, lame.
No,
You're
fine.
like, I hate it. It's just so calm.
Farming simulator or farming in an RPG? Katie's all about the farming.
Unless I would play with John.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because I was going to say my husband and he hates when I say something like that.
I love it because she'll say this. She'll be like, "My husband," or be like, my son. And I'm like, yeah, I know who they are. Like, so John, your husband. Hilarious. This is a better podcast than we've ever done.
Lies.
The best one.
You know, if you play... I'm just thinking of Leroy Jenkins. Because our dog's name is Leroy Jenkins.
Yep.
Like, if you would be doing larger scale groups, raids.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And
I like doing that.
You used to do raid?
I used to raid a little bit.
And who would you play? Like, what was your main?
Hunter. I mean, a hunter, and it was usually a troll.
A troll hunter?
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're big.
Bow or gun?
Bow.
Pet?
I would play around with it. There was one called, I want to say a Chakier, but that's probably not even how you pronounce it. It's like a white tiger.
Oh, cool.
No, I'm sorry. It's a white lion.
Oh, cool.
Apologies, but you have to find him. So he is a boss at some point, and then you can.
It's a rare
charm
drop.
Him. Yeah.
Oh.
You can charm him or whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know what the term is anymore. Again, sorry for you people who play WoW and you're like, she's using the wrong terminology. Words aren't working right now. Have not since I had a child. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm doing the best I can.
Her son, not yours.
My child. Since I had a child, my child.
Yeah. Asher is his name. It's not a secret.
Okay. Next question.
TV.
Oh, you're going to hate my answers.
Yeah.
He's going to hate my answers.
Please just don't say How I Met Your Mother.
No.
Okay. Like, I know people love that show.
Are we talking current or like ever?
Ever.
Oh, God.
And why is it Frasier? I'm just kidding.
Frasier is amazing.
I love
will
Frasier.
say that is probably one of my all-time. I'd go back and watch again.
Did I tell you I saw the sound set or soundstage where they filmed Frasier?
No.
I saw the outside of it. They filmed all of Cheers there, and then they've swapped out that set and then put Frasier stuff in there. So he was in that like soundstage for like 22 years.
Wow. I bet you were excited.
When they told me what it was, yes, I was like, Frasier. Like, he was showing me clips outside of the spot where it was Lucille Ball's dressing room. And she made it look a lot... This is at Paramount Studios, because I was just in California. But she made it look like her home back... I don't know if it was like upper California, somewhere else. Because people would take pictures of her, paparazzi. And back in that time, they were criticizing her for not being a good mother. So she did that. So that way, if they took pictures of her at the actual place, people would be like, oh, she's at home. So she's with her kids, right?
Oh.
She was very smart. Lucy's very smart. But this place where they did that, there was actually a hunting scene where Frasier and... Martin Crane are sitting in like a duck blind, and they filmed it outside in this like place with all these shrubs and stuff. But it was supposed to be in like maybe northern Washington, but it was in like Southern California.
Oh, crazy!
So it was really cool to see that spot. And I was like, also a fun little fact about Lucille Ball: she greenlit both Mission Impossible and Star Trek for TV shows way back in the day. Lucille Ball was a pretty influential lady. She's pretty sweet. She's very smart.
She knows what's up.
Anyway, sorry. I love Lucy. What can I say?
Yes. Golden Girls?
Golden Girls is so good. It's like a 10 out of 10.
It's
almost.
So good.
It's so good.
I
love almost all of them, too.
Yeah.
There's not a bad one in the batch.
Even
B. Arthur gets some really good lines.
Oh my gosh, she's so funny. I know.
Did you know Sophia's like the youngest of them all?
You're kidding.
I think so, yeah. They like dressed her up to be way older, but she wasn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Anyway.
I basically live in Golden Girls now, so... Not really, but...
You live... Oh, like watching?
Like my job.
Oh, your job. Gotcha. I was like...
Senior citizens.
Anyway, so Golden Girls?
Yes. And if we're going to talk trash TV, it has to be Jersey Shore. Sorry.
I want to say Puke and Raleigh, but that's a different show.
That's Floribama Shore. But you say it.
I say it all the time. Puke and Raleigh. I say it while I'm eating something.
Self-explanatory. Yeah. I don't need to go into
That's
detail.
I love Bachelor in Paradise.
Bachelor in Paradise I'll watch. I do not watch The Bachelor. I don't find it intriguing.
The reason you watch Bachelor in Paradise, though, is because it's like the Avengers of Bachelor stuff.
There's so much stuff going on.
The new Bachelorette, I can't believe they pulled... She's from a few seasons ago. I'm surprised that she's here. This season, The Bachelor had not a great ending. It was... Ugh.
Are you talking about like this upcoming Bachelorette?
Yeah.
I just read in the news that there's someone from Minnesota that's going to be on there from Brooklyn Park.
Oh, a guy?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he likes Claire. Claire's been on the show.
Don't you have to know who you're going on there
Sometimes you don't. And
Why would you do that?
One season they did it where they had two in the beginning and the first night, and the guys had to vote which one was going to stay.
I don't know about that. I feel like you should know who you're kind of going for and know if it's someone that's compatible, because you're supposed to go there to find love, right?
Yep. Complete side note, Hannah Ann. Hope you're doing well. You know what I'm saying? I'll leave that in. Hannah, she was one of the...
I believe you.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right. How about you? You want to answer this?
No, people know me. They're bored with me.
Okay.
That's why you're here. They're like, oh, this guy.
All right.
Any other things that are your favorites to let people know who you are? And you also love Disney.
Yeah,
Would you say you love it as much or less than me?
I think as much, but in a different way.
Oh, what do you mean? Like food-wise?
Food,
I only say that because every time we talk about Disney, you're like, you send me all these Instagram posts that are like, eat this for me. And like...
Well, I do, because I think growing up, we did the rides. Like, our goal was to get on as many rides as possible, and food was like an after fact. Like, you would maybe have certain things you'd eat kind of religiously when you go down there. Like, we'd go to the bakery and have... Now I sound like one of the worst. Like, oh, you had such a horrible childhood. You had to go eat an ice cream cookie at the bakery off Main Street. No, it was great.
It's all relative, people. Also, we were kind of trying to do it on the cheap, as it were, as a family. We always kind of ate cheaply, too. I think that was another thing.
Yeah, but we would bring... I think they would bring stuff with, too.
Yeah, we'd bring a lot of snacks.
Especially if we drove down.
Now that we're older, we spend a lot of money on food.
Oh, my gosh.
And guess what? It's worth every flipping penny. Usually.
I was going to say, I was just going to throw some shade at Gaston's because it was not good, but I did see a picture recently of one of the cinnamon rolls, so I'm wondering if someone watched our vlog because it looked super gooey, not dry, and I was like, where was that when we were there?
Yeah, I want the gooey one. And also, LeFou's Brew is super weird.
I didn't like it.
Maurice's Treats over Disneyland has a better thing that I got a few years back. That's it's like a boysenberry apple thing. It's much better. Yeah.
There was a lot of food though when you were in Disneyland, which we'll talk about shortly here.
So much.
I loved it. There were things that I wanted to go and eat.
Yeah.
And I wish that I was down there so I could eat it. But yes, food. I also think that other than the shopping and just kind of taking in the whole place now as an adult.
Sure.
And seeing things that I wouldn't have wasted time looking at before.
Yeah.
And maybe just like the history. Like you're really into the history. I started reading a couple different biographies. Yes, I don't just read one book at a time. I try to like kind of delve, but I'm trying to learn some more.
You probably know more than me at this point.
Backstory. Well, I don't know.
I watch a lot of YouTube videos though.
Yeah, well that's good.
Like Rob from Rob Plays, Theme Park History. Jack, I love you.
Theme Park History is amazing.
I can't believe he let me be part of that. I honestly, like when I reached out to him, I was like, this guy will never. I am incredible. Like, I think it's because my stupid YouTube brain is, I'm like, they have a certain number of subscribers. I'm like, they would never talk to someone as lowly as me. But then most of these people are really humble. I'm sorry, it's true though.
It's not true though. Even if we had one person watch us, like, good for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, exactly. I just mean like if they were to look at and they'd be like, because sometimes the mentality, I think, and this is not true for everybody, but if you kind of have like a decent sized channel, you want to bring on people who have way bigger channels to like increase yours. Yeah. And for me, I could see where people think that's what I'm trying to do because I'm like super small and trying to get exposure. It's not that. I just love these people and I reach out to them and thankfully they're like, yeah, you can come do a thing with me. I'm like, yes. Like, I'm like, yes. It's so much fun for me. And then I do my darndest to be the best I can.
Yeah.
I try. I love it. I love working with people, man. Anyway, sorry, we're talking about me now. We're talking about you. Anything else you want to tell the people about yourself?
If I could go to Disney at least once a year and be down there for a month, like I would do.
Okay, so like Disney Springs would just be my heaven.
Oh, it would. It was so nice. We were there for all of like 5 seconds.
I rushed them through it. Because we went to Boathouse, and then Katie went and got some gelato and promptly got sick. So did Haley.
Haley, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the girls wanted some dessert, and Joe and I were like, That was one of my favorite parts of the trip, too, because Joe and I were talking outside of Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar, and then I was vlogging it, but then Katie was taking pictures of us, and then like people started to form like a semicircle around us, like because they thought.
Well, Haley had her camera out too.
Oh yeah,
and Haley has a gigantic camera.
That's true.
Like she's incredible with her photography. It's massive. So when she pulls out, it's like, who is this? So she looks like a paparazzi basically. Yeah. So they're like, who is that guy?
I still think it was Joe that they thought was the celebrity, but I hope it was me too. Wow. Thank you, randos. But I like Disney
randos.
Disney Springs is super pretty. It was super nice. Beautiful. I wish we could have a little more time there, but again, we were kind of moving. I felt bad that day. We didn't even use our park hopper efficiently. We only went to one park.
Oh,
that really frustrated me. I got a problem, guys.
I could easily spend over a month even just taking it in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally.
And just slowing down.
Yeah.
And taking stuff in. Because I think I'm not even a huge Star Wars fan, but just seeing that for the first time, I could hang out in Batu and just go in the shops and just look at stuff. Because the attention to detail, I think, is what I appreciate more than anything in Disney.
Yes, for sure.
Is that, A, attention to detail, B, they keep things so clean. Like, you're never going to go anywhere else that you're going to be like, there's no garbage. Like, even if someone spills popcorn, you might see it for a total of like 30 seconds and then there's a cast member cleaning it up. I just really appreciate that. You're spending good money, right?
I saw some garbage at another park. I won't say it here.
I know what it is.
That it was like a white styrofoam cup that was like you're like going into a tunnel of a thing and it was just sitting on like an electric box or something. It was just sitting all by itself. So you're like going and you're like, oh, like this is like they're trying to be immersive and there's just like white.
Oh, yeah.
stuff happens.
But I think that takes away from the magic of being there.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about it, even going into Batu, I was like, should I take my ears off? Like I wear mini ears, and
no, you can leave
totally
them on.
put my hood up though when we met Darth Vader. That was cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I could just talk about that forever. But anyway, yes, I love Disney. I love watching Disney vlogs. That is one of my new favorite hobbies. Love it.
It's an obsession. I understand it. Me too.
I don't even know why.
Who's your favorite right now? And why is it Provost Park Pass?
It's Provost Park Pass. Oh my gosh, you're so amazing.
Shout out to those guys. Okay.
I literally fell in love with that family, especially after Chris. He is one of the people on that. He got sick on their trip, and they're trying to do a full Disney tour of every Disney location on the planet. And of course, as we all know right now, with everything getting shut down, everything is shut down now. So they made it to 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got sick and still let his family go and do stuff while he was sick at a totally different place far away from them. I was like, oh.
So I recognized the moment that I fell in love with them, and mostly Chris. And it was during that time. So again, maybe you don't care about Disney stuff at all, but so this family, they're huge enthusiasts. They're really truly in love with the park. And they're like, Amanda, his wife, like she cries all the time when she sees sweet things. But so Chris gets the flu, and they're in Florida. His family is in the parks and stuff. Yeah. He can't be there. He's laying in bed, and he has like a friend who's kind of coming over giving him medicine. And he says to him, he's like, oh, they're going to do Slinky Dog tomorrow.
Oh,
and he's like, make sure my 3-year-old or whoever, Miles gets to go on it, because I think he would love it a lot. And I really want him to go do that. And he's like, I really wanted to do that with him. But
you're gonna
I
make
hope
me,
you,
like,
I was like,
right now.
I was like, ooh, like that kind of stuff. And I've been watching vloggers for a long time. I watched like Tim Tracker for a long time, Justin Scard. And I really like those guys too. But there's something about Provost. There's something that like is just so gripping, like the little laugh that he does all the time, like, and he's done really sickening challenges too. So if you want to watch some poor man eat a bunch of sweets and go on like rides again and again,
he will make you feel ill though. So just be ready, like don't eat, because
get ready.
My stomach. I was just watching it and I was like, man.
Yeah. I want to meet them though. They seem really, really cool.
And
they seem like my people.
Amanda, I'd be best friends with you too. Chris, obviously, as well. But she gets me to a level when it comes to like popcorn.
Well, that, and she's a mom, so and
she's a mom, and I lost it because she was like, "Do you remember that time when all the places we were gonna go to Disney closed?" And then she's like laughing and crying at the same time on Main Street because it's closed.
Yeah, and it's like during their trip,
and they're trying to like rehash all these plans, and as they're going around, they make it to Paris, and then they're hearing, of course, everything's getting closed, and they're not like in the U.S., so they're trying to figure all this stuff out. And anyway,
so they're great.
We could talk about you guys all day, but
we're not going to. But we recommend them if you like anything Disney related, and those other vloggers I talked about too. Also, I would be remiss to not mention the other one we were watching before that, which was All Ears.
Yeah,
Molly from All Ears, who's also excellent, wonderful. Yeah. Great.
And I think the reason that we watch so many differing vlogs is because they are so vastly different.
Yeah.
And there are even people who just do Walt Disney World, and then there's people who just do Disneyland. So we started watching a couple folks that do Disneyland, like Theme Park Obsession. He's really good.
Yeah.
And then Life and Beyond. I'm forgetting something. Life and Beyond.
Big Life and Beyond? Is that
I think it was.
Yes. Anyway. Lots of them.
They're good.
Yeah.
There's so many. Again,
if you're watching this and you're like, why are they talking about Disney? We're going to talk about Disney later today, too, so it kind of plays into it. And also, I've done a little bit of vlogging, nothing compared to these people who do it like every day or close to every week. I'm not close enough. We're in Minnesota, so it's just not going to happen.
That would be like the dream job.
Yeah, well, and once you see the footage from Disneyland, you'll be like, how many rides did you do in a day? And I'll be like, a lot.
Yeah.
You
were by yourself, so.
Yep, I was all alone, which we will talk about. You're fine.
Ew.
He's fine. Well, yeah, but that's Katie. So if you want to know anything else about her, please write in and stuff. And I know we have at least one question for you. We might have more later on here.
What's that?
We'll get to it. What's that? What's that question? Bring it out right now.
What's the question?
No, we're going to get to it, but we're going to talk about Disneyland first.
Okay.
And I think we're still recording, which is great because we're at 25 minutes here of just talking about you. See, look at, she's just
You don't even know anything really about me other than what I like in
they don't.
society. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I thought you meant I don't. I was like...
Same.
Do you want to say something you don't like?
No.
Okay. No. Not today. We're on critical reviews.
Yeah.
Anyway, Disneyland. Okay, so I was there as of this recording last week. At this time, I was in the park for Saturday, Sunday, and now, as of this recording today, on March 20th.
It's the 14th because it's 14th. Pie Day, and I know that because I'm a fatty and I like food.
Pie Day. It's closed, or it's closing down, and the resorts are going to be closing down a few days after that. But anyway, so I feel very lucky and privileged to get to go on this trip. Yeah. I was gifted by my family a room for 2 nights, and I tried my best. I like leaned into this is like 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning. I leaned into the concierge or the desk assistant, and I was like, so like, got any like suites available in like Adventureland? He's like, well, we have a lot of suites. And I'm like, I mean like the Jungle Cruise suite. And he's like, oh, the signature suite. And he says to me, if you were here one night, maybe we can make some magic happen. But because you're here for 2 nights, we can't. And I've looked at the price for this, and it's like a special suite. It's like ranging from $2,400 a night to $3,700 a night.
Why don't you say, like, you can put me in there for 1 night?
That's what I was going to say, but I was like, okay. But what he did for me is he upgraded me to a deluxe room view, which you guys will see in the video. But anyway, it was this, I was on the 6th floor. Yeah. I got to look out on the pool and everything and the Tangaroa Terrace with all these torches and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was gorgeous. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than like a parking lot. So I was really happy to get that. And it was so cool because I was in the Fantasy Land Tower, just Fantasy Tower, and I got to just like go into the elevator, go up, and then just like come back around. So I didn't have to like think too much about like, oh, my room is like the top corner. Like I didn't have to go like a super far away, which is wonderful. And this is my first time staying at the Disneyland Resort. And it was wonderful. What do
you think of it? Like,
I liked it.
Outside of other resorts,
I've stayed at all of them now.
Every single resort.
At the 3 that are there.
I thought you meant like
not all the Disney World resorts. No. There's like 25. No. So there's 3 resorts there. So there's Paradise Pier. Mm-hmm. This is kind of going from lowest to highest price. The Disneyland Resort, and then the Grand Californian.
Wow.
I like this. It makes perfect sense. This one I like more than Paradise Pier. I don't like as much as Grand Californian.
Why?
Because Grand Californian is my heart.
Your heart.
I love it. I walked in there my last night just to like hang out. Yes, I love it. Okay. The reasons why, and I've talked about this in the videos and stuff before, but I love the earth tones. I love the building itself because it's the same guy, I think, who designed Wilderness Lodge.
Oh, that makes sense.
And it's more on they call it the arts and crafts kind of time in like the 19th century, I think, of California. Okay. I could be wrong about this. But basically, it doesn't mean like doing like paper mache and stuff. It means that it was like craftsmen. So everything is like craftsmanship. It's super duper overly done in that way. And it is just gorgeous. And it has pretty. the one of the special, there's like one other resort that's a little crazier than this over in Tokyo Disney. Or Disney Sea, that's like located in the park. This one butts up next to a park, and it has its own entrance. And I used that to walk in one night, and it's so cool. I love it, and it's the closest one to the other resorts, so it's the shortest walk. But Disneyland itself was wonderful too because you have the Tangaroa Terrace, like Trader Sam's, which was going to open at 11:30 that day, and it was too late for me to go in. They had like locked up, and I was like, oh man, so to go there another time, but. It's 11:30 in the morning. They're open to like 1 or 1:30.
But you didn't get a chance to go at all.
I didn't. I was just like, but I like Disney, and it's got the Fantasy Tower, the Adventure Tower, and Frontier Tower, and they have cool things in each of the lobbies that you can kind of go look at. So
are all of the rooms different?
I don't know. The one I think that I had was relatively standard. I had 2 queen beds, and then I had this big kind of wooden board above it with the castle.
And the lights.
You could turn it on, and the lights would come on, so it looks like the fireworks, and it play A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes. Yeah. So I did that when I go to sleep. I just throw that on really quick. I was like,
that'll be nice.
Yeah, it was very nice. But yeah, so Disneyland Resort was really cool. And I got to meet an Imagineer. Well, she worked there. She worked in Imagineering for 7 months. She worked on Mission Space. She was the one who said that they should hire Gina Torres, who I don't know if she replaced the guy from Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dan, whose name I forget right now. But anyway, but yeah, I talked to her for a little bit because she's like, oh, you like looking for something? I'm like, no, I'm just looking at like all the pictures and stuff. And I told her I was like a pretty big fan, and we talked about the various like big name Imagineers like Tony Baxter and Joe Rohde and stuff. And she talked about meeting them and things like that. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. But yeah, I really like the Disneyland Resort, and it has a really storied history too. It's gone through a lot of changes. I wish some of the stuff would have stayed, but
yeah,
they had like their own little world of color, little water fountain show. They used to have like a crazy waterfall display at one portion of it. I miss it.
There are things, I think, just with trying to make things more contemporary that Disney's done, especially I think of like the Polynesian Resort when you walk in and they got rid of that waterfall stuff. I'm like, why? I get it, but I also think like...
Killing me.
I don't know, the updates.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just easier to maintain less water features.
Yeah, true. I'm sure there's...
I think that's probably at the crux of it, and most people don't even know. Unless you're like a weirdo like me, and I'm like, that's missing.
Yeah.
But anyway, again, thank you to my family who allowed me to stay there because I was out there for business, and they're like, hey, do you want to like have like 2 nights at Disneyland? I'm like, I was like, yes.
Yes, please.
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 Yeah. So that was great. So, do you have any questions about Disneyland? Because we just came from, we were lucky enough to go, we went to Disney World like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Coast to coast, baby. I'm a traveling man.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to Disneyland with you, which...
You would have had fun.
I would have had a lot of fun there, I think. I think it would have been a lot less overwhelming, maybe, with trying to get stuff done.
Yeah.
Because you were there for 2 days. Did you feel like that was enough time?
I felt like it was enough time for me, but that's because I was alone. I moved at my own speed, which was breakneck.
Breakneck speed.
I took some naps, but besides that, I was good. And then there were single rider lines that I made use of for specific attractions that I think really brought down the wait times. There was one in particular that I used it for maybe 3 or 4 times, and in that amount of time, I probably waited less than 1 time waiting for that ride.
What was that?
That was Radiator Springs Racers.
Really?
And I have a vendetta against that ride.
Why?
Because I rode it a few years ago with my buddy Leo, and we wanted to ride it together, but we waited for like 2 hours to ride it, which was so stupid. So
why?
We had time to kill. And I don't know. We were only there for like 1 day though, so I don't know if we really had time to kill. So I've grown smarter and wiser, and I went on that ride maybe 4 or 5 times. Wow. Because I was like, I'm doing single rider. I met so many people. We had so much fun, like hanging out, and I kept going on it because I was like, no, I'm going to ride this ride because in the past I've waited so long. And guess what? Now I can say this definitively. I like it better than Test Track. Test Track, you've fallen from grace, baby. I don't like the new overlay. I really don't. And Cars not only has a similar kind of setup to Test Track, but it has better theming, crazy theming.
I don't even know what to say.
Better, and you know what? I'm not even a Cars guy, but those cars are legitimately like coming to life. It's freaky.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's great. There is one issue I have with it though.
What's that?
There's a moment where you see Mater in the beginning, and he backs up into some bushes. And then another Mater pops out. But I can still... I know there's another Mater. I've seen the other Mater. I'm like, there's 2 of them here. It's my problem. My cross to bear. Anyway. Sorry. Do you have any questions about Disneyland?
Did you enjoy Indiana Jones more as more of an adult now than before? What's happening? What is this?
My decoder card, and they printed it March 3rd, which is not the day I was there. Okay, here's the deal with Indy. We talked about this. I've been on Ivy Winter's channel talking about Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye versus my beloved dinosaur Countdown, which is right there. You can't really see it under Figment. There's the little car, the Time Rover. It's an amazing vehicle that can literally transport you to the age of the dinosaurs. How? That's proprietary. But I'll stop.
Yeah, okay.
I love Indy. I do. Mm-hmm. But. And I rode it a few different times. I had a blast. I rode up in the driver's seat like twice. And the first time I did it, the group I was with was very responsive to my jokes. which I felt good about because I took it upon myself to enhance the ride, which some people probably absolutely hated, but they seemed like they were cool with it. So I was like, turned around. I was like, yeah, it's my first time driving, everybody. And they're like, ah. And I was like, all right, guys, promise me nobody's going to look into the eyes of Mara, because the whole point of this ride is you can go in and you either get eternal youth, riches beyond your wildest dreams, or you have like the ability to see into the future. And Mara will give you this stuff when you go in here, but someone always looks into the eyes of the idol, and then you go into like the scary part and you're gonna die. So
you're gonna die.
So like that part happened, and I turned around and I'm like, oh, look in the eyes. Like I was like, and then I started like joking, like turning the wheel. I'm like, oh my gosh, like so I really did. I think that ride is gonna be a lot more fun, and it's again more interactive with like a crew of people that you know.
Yeah.
Because Countdown, you're more of it feels more passive in that you're just kind of there for it. In this one, the fact that someone jokingly has a steering wheel, you can be like, hey, like, oh, good driving, kind of stuff like that. Yeah. So I really enjoy it. I still think there are some things they really need to up their game with there.
Like?
Effects.
Oh, is that ghost thing still in the ceiling?
The ghost, like, oh, the super...
Isn't there like a...
So that's the spirit of Mara, apparently. That makes the crazy
Disney.
T-Rex noise.
You have outdone yourself at this point with Rise of the Resistance. Yeah. You can't come back now. And now with
you can't
Runaway Railroad, that also.
Have you seen it?
I've watched videos.
So Katie knows too much.
I cannot say. But I will say.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
I said the railroad. Again, see, words.
I want that there fast pass for the Runaway Railroad. Wherever it is.
Railroad.
I don't know what that voice is. Anyway,
incredible. Looks super fun.
Yeah.
And you can do better with that effect.
You mean the big blue ghost?
There are many things on that ride.
Sure.
That could use an update. And that's what I'm talking about. You can update, but also keep, the original stuff that people really like about the ride.
For people who are wondering what we're talking about, please go check out a ride through video. I think maybe I've even posted a full one myself, but also just try to look up one so you can understand it. So for a kind of comparison, they do have one over in Tokyo Disney Sea that is that one's Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's pretty much the same ride, but it's more updated, and instead of Mara, this kind of I don't know if it's Indian or Hindu type god, it's the Crystal Skull. Mm-hmm. But for instance, there's a moment kind of later on in the ride where you're driving through this kind of area where there's all these blow darts getting shot at you. The one for Crystal Skull is these really cool statues and stuff, and it feels like you're actually in a temple. This one seems like the lowest budget, maybe one of the lowest budget parts, because it's just painted skeletons on a wall.
Yeah.
And it's still fun. And right before that, there's a projector on some fog that's a branch with a rat falling off of it. It's it's not great.
Well, and the wall of the spiders and stuff, the headlights are supposed to be showing up on your vehicle, and they're supposed to be spiders crawling up the wall, hundreds of thousands of spiders, and those are the things that could amplify being immersed in a ride you feel in Rise. But even in Rise, I will say there are things that people weren't happy with that could be adjusted, like the feet moving at that one part.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
Can't say what I'm talking about.
That's fine.
But if you've been on it,
how would you up the factor of the spiders?
I don't know.
Okay, it's enhance it. How? I don't know, man. I'm a critic, man. I don't give you solutions, man.
Well, maybe just whatever they've used for that footage, update the footage.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Graphically, it could be better.
Ironically, that's one of my favorite parts. Not that portion, but there's usually right before I was talking about with the fog and the rat dropping. Sometimes the car usually just stop in the darkness. So that's usually in my two rides. I turned around to everybody. I was like, "All right, somebody get out and push." And I usually got a laugh or two from that one. Then I'm like, "Wait, I gotta go." And then I love it. I have fun with it. I'm an actor.
I don't mind it stopping and it being dark. I'm just saying the element of when the lights turn
Some of that
on.
stuff could be better. And there's also a legendary effect that when you first enter the main chamber, this big statue of Mara shoots a laser beam and is supposed to, like, you hear like this crumbling like rocks and stuff. They used to have an ice effect that would drop ice kind of in front of you before you turned in to see all like the crazy skeletons. Mm-hmm. I think just take the noise out. Like, I don't know if like there's like it's like an old school like kind of weird laser beam too. I really think they could update this ride, but the problem is because they have so many people coming there all the time, people don't want it to change. It'd be hard to shut down one of their biggest rides. But right now with Star Wars, once Rise of the Resistance becomes like a standby ability, I could see them being like, all right, Indy, we're shutting down for 5 or 6 months. We're going to update you.
Yeah.
That line's still great.
Was Fluffy there?
Which one's the more
White
active one? I
think Fluffy is.
So they've got two different large
like
cobras. I think I saw the white one.
Frosty looking.
I thought, are you sure they're different?
Yeah, they're different
looking?
colors.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This one was moving a bit. So
yeah, there's one that's kind of like doesn't move around a lot and is a different color, and they have to swap it out if one of them doesn't work.
I have to look at it.
But I mean look at that originality versus like, oh, now we're gonna just use a screen.
Yeah, I personally like the practical effects.
Doesn't work. I'm just thinking about the shaman. In Navi River Journey.
Oh, I was like
now if there is an animatronic that goes down instead of like trying to fix the animatronic or what have you.
Yeah.
They're like, let's just do screens for everything.
Here's my question. In the beginning, you see Indiana Jones and he's holding a door like almost shut. I'm pretty sure he's holding like it's like a cloth with some color on it, which is fine. But like contextually, I'm thinking, is Indy, he's been in here for a week. He's holding back a door of like spirits or something. I don't know. It's very confusing. I've thought about this a lot. I'm like, what's Indy doing? He's like, go up there to your left. I'm like, all right, Indy.
I know.
Anyway, sorry. I really like that ride. I still think Countdown's better. It's more intimate and scarier, and that's something that I like.
Well, it's terrifying.
And I like the animatronics. If that ride didn't have the animatronics, it would not obviously be the same.
No.
By any stretch. So.
Absolutely not.
That's all I'm trying to say. And the cool thing about that ride is that even though they don't have a T-Rex in it for Countdown, they got it to charge the car. And the original idea for like the old Jurassic Park ride was to do that, but they didn't have the technology at the time to have a T-Rex do that. So it's like Disney was like, well, we might not have T-Rex, but we got Carnotaurus, and so charge the car. There's nothing as terrifying as that in Indiana Jones. And I love that moment.
I agree.
It's so cool.
That is
I want an Indy animatronic running towards the car and then gets taken out by a rock. Like, that'd be great. Or like a door shuts. He's like, ah!
Cool.
Anyway, what other questions do you have besides Indiana Jones? Great queue line, though. Still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got rid of the ceiling coming down for some reason, right?
The noise still happens, but I don't think the spikes move.
They don't
because it scared people. I'm pretty sure I was looking at it while I was there. Because it was something that I talked to other people about, and they're like, I think the spikes move. I'm like, I don't think so anymore.
I think the ceiling moved.
Oh, was it the ceiling?
I think the ceiling, because
like
the
ceiling
spikes
just goes up and down.
always were there at some point, but then they had to remove them because people thought they were like really going to injure. I'm like, people, come on.
The spikes are still there, so maybe the ceiling just goes up and down and the spikes stay. But anyway.
Well, no, it doesn't move at all anymore.
Okay.
What else? Let's see. Oh, Fantasmic. I was going to ask you, how was Maleficent?
Oh. I almost didn't see her. But I did.
You did. Okay, good.
And I watched Mickey one-shot her. She looks great. She looks way better. The Fantasmic Maleficent in Disneyland, I think, looks a lot better than the weird stick and head that they have at Hollywood Studios. That's like draped with stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, true. It does look kind of...
Yeah. That's the only part I watched, and then I walked away.
Oh, I love her.
It's so weird. Disneyland has so many shows going on. You just like go around a corner and there's like a new show or a new ride. There's so much. It's so much. Oh my gosh.
Did you like that the characters walk around instead of be in a meet and greet space?
I saw people who were so excited, and they would go to a meet and greet place, but they were like walking with people, or I'm trying to remember if I did see that. I saw Minnie walking around. I would see the characters. I thought that was cool. It made the park seem a little more interesting to me.
Well, yeah, kind of like they do in Batu. They're walking around, but they don't stop to take pictures with people. But that's because it's like...
My interactions with most of the characters or the cast members in Batu there were not as highly themed as the ones in Walt Disney World. For me.
Really?
The officers for the First Order, they were on point. one guy made a joke about me. He's like, you know, the first one to crack's gonna be, because I was like talking a bunch, and then I was like, mm-hmm. He just was like, mm-hmm. I was having a ball.
Yeah, they were really good in Walt Disney World.
But I meant like the ones like, even though like that guy we talked to, that one.
Oh,
you know
now you're losing all your words just like me.
What's that guy we talked to, and he was like, oh, he was from Alderaan, and we talked to him about that. I didn't find many cast members I could talk to about like their name tag and stuff. It seemed more of like just a job. It wasn't like, oh, we are a citizen of Batuu. Because I said Bright Suns to a few people, and they looked at me like I was nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured out the hissing thing too.
What is that?
So I talked about this in the past, and maybe people have heard me talk about this. There is a specific noise that cast members use to get each other's attention, and I witnessed it happen.
What?
It was at Indiana Jones.
What does it sound like?
And they do this. They're like, ch-ch, ch-ch. And then like the other cast members would turn and look, and I was like, what? I was like, what?
For like what reason?
Well, it's to get like people's attention in a loud area, and it's like a different noise, I think, to like be like, hey, I need to, like, if I yell at Mike and Mike can't hear me because of I'm just yelling Mike, someone else might be yelling Mike. But if I do that specific noise, I swear I'm onto something here.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah,
for sure.
They did not do this in Batuu though. They were like, they're like hissing and stuff. Yeah. Sorry, what were we talking about? You're talking about Batuu? You're talking about...
We were talking about the characters walking around versus them having a designated space. I also think that kind of creates more immersion too.
Yeah, I liked it.
I mean, depending on where you are.
There's like a Tinkerbell meet and greet though. She's got her own like Pixie Hollow area.
But that's a little different because it's a themed area.
Yeah, yeah.
But like if you're in Fantasyland, so to speak, and you see characters walking around, like that's cool.
That reminds me, I saw Hook and Wendy meet and greet over by Small World, and I was on the monorail, and Hook like he like stopped like dealing with people, and he started like waving at the monorail, and I was like, this is like a pure Disney moment. And he was like waving, and then like he show off his hook hand. He's like, and I was
my gosh!
Like, dude, there was a Goofy there that was moving and shaking. I swear the Disneyland characters they're like turned up to 11. They're moving. They're like full in. They're like when they're like dancing and stuff.
Have you watched the video that someone posted about Goofy, and he's dancing like in a parade, and it's like, I hope to have as much caffeine as Goofy did this morning.
That's
and
the one you sent me where it's like I'm walking.
He's like,
walking into the parks. Like I'll be walking into the parks on Monday like this. Like,
and he's just like he's
moving,
doing the dance moves way more than anybody else around. They're like, he's like.
I did see Goofy, like, he got down and he, like, was holding his arms open for, like, a kid who just, like, ran into him, just like, oh, like.
That's so cute.
I was like, oh, that's so sweet that that's still going on amidst the crisis. Yeah.
They're pretty safe.
Yeah.
Like.
But now they're shutting down, so it's fine.
Yeah, now they won't have to worry about it. Anyway, what was your favorite food? Because if you don't say what I think it's going to be, I'm going to be surprised.
I really liked the lobster from Blue Bayou.
I knew you were going to say that!
The steak was okay. And the best part, as I've told you, was waving at the people on the Pirates of the Caribbean. Because I was by myself. I got in at like 4:15. And they put me at a 4 top.
And where were you going to go? And I told you don't go there. Do you remember? The wine place.
Oh, Trattoria. Or whatever, over in, or whatever it's called in Disney's California Adventure. Because I couldn't find reservations for anything else. And Blue Bayou accepted me. It was it's not a 4-top. It was like a 4-seater. And they put me by the water.
That's so cool.
So I jokingly, mostly dudes who were like happy to wave back. And then I'd like pretend to throw a roll at them. And then they catch it. And then, or I'd like point at them. And then they'd be like, yeah. Like we'd laugh and stuff. I got some of it on camera. And I don't think people were ready for me to be like filming. So I was like filming myself waving at people. And then I filmed them waving back to prove it. Because I didn't want to be like, they're waving. Anyway, I like the lobster tail. The steak was fine. It was the surf and turf, so it was pretty expensive.
Yes.
But you're paying for I got my meal, though, and the bread came out, like, halfway through me eating the meal. So I was like, oh, that's a lot of food. And I'm just chugging Roy Rogers, over here, like, which is a cherry Coke for people who don't know. It's called a Roy Rogers.
Is it now?
Yeah. And I felt bad because I'm a no ice kind of guy, and she brought it out, and then some other guy came over. He's like, "Oh, like you need a refill?" I'm like, "Yeah, no ice." And so she brought another one, and then he came and swapped it out with a no ice one. He's like, "I'm sorry, I told her no ice," and I was like, "Oh," I was like,
whoa. Awkward.
Sorry, I don't want to get into like. I could do a whole video on great, just like standard Disney like service, and then like when it's not.
Yeah.
Because if it isn't that, it's automatically like a ooh, this ain't right.
Yeah, we had that happen.
It was like that. That's what happened to me at Blue Bayou, at Le Cellier. That's what happened roughly. She seemed like she was done with me. Like she was kind of like, yeah, you're by yourself, weirdo. I just want. If you're dining solo, it helps a lot to have a server who is kind of more fun. I was sitting right next to where the all the servers had to go in the back and like talk to each other, so I overheard some stuff. Like I was like
what?
It's like one person walked out and they're like, "Whoa, it's so dead in here today." Like I was like hearing stuff. I was like, "Oh, this is so good." They're talking. Oh man, it was wonderful. Anyway. But besides that, I think the raspberry lemon Dole Whip with the mango or the passion fruit, I think it was mango on it, like chunks.
Yeah. That
was great.
I'm glad that I told you to eat that.
$9. Worth it. The bao buns were okay.
I still want to eat like the cheeseburger bao bun.
The cheeseburger bao bun, if it's anything like these, would be incredible. Oh my gosh, they were so good. I like the beef one the most. The other ones were not as great, but yeah. Do that. Go to Tropical Hideaway, and I got to sit next to Rosita, which was the missing bird from the tiki room. She's sitting out there and she's saying little things. Yeah, she's talking. Oh, cool. Yeah, says stuff once in a while. Other favorite food. I lied. I know what my favorite food is. Grilled shrimp on braised corn over at this. It was like off the cob corn cart at. Their food and wine festival at California Adventure. I ate 2 of those. It was so good. I had these shrimp tacos earlier in the night, which were not great. I don't even know what the shell was made of. I think it was paper. I don't know what it was.
You're not supposed to eat that part. It's just there.
I don't know. Anyway, but it was if you grilled corn on the cob and then shaved it off and then put like grilled shrimp on top of that and then put like a sauce over that.
That's what's up.
I don't know what sauce it was. It was so good. I came back and they're like, "Oh, you're back." I'm like, "Yes, I need more of this." Like I was like, I could pound this. And you got like 3 shrimp or so. It wasn't a ton on each one.
Yeah.
It's like $8, but it was like that on top of a bed of corn.
Yeah.
If I could do a bed of corn on all my meals, that'd be great. I was like so stoked. Forget risotto. I want a bed of corn. Oh, grilled corn. It was so good. It felt like a little bit of home. It felt like State Fairish. I was like, this is like a hearty little sitting in the gut, you know? Okay, he's like, I don't like that. I don't like. That was my favorite food.
Okay.
I've done it. Feels good.
Was space your favorite there as it is in Walt Disney World?
No. Space Mountain, I'm so sorry. Let me talk about the positives first. I always like to start off with the highlights in the reviews. I like the music by Michael Giacchino, which also the music in Incredicoaster is by him. He's fantastic. The seats are wonderful.
And we're done.
Shortcomings. This ride is okay. You got 3 lift hills in the beginning, which they have limited space. I just did this.
3. I haven't been there for years.
I'm pretty sure it's 3. Yeah, it's 3.
That's incredible.
And it's a lot better personally, I thought it was a lot better when it was Hyperspace Mountain, because when you're the first lift hill, they start with the stars music, like that, and then when you're going up the second lift hill, it's that big projector like tube.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like they're playing more, like they're talking to you and they're like, "Hey, Red 5," or they're like going through all this like stuff, and you're going to be an X-wing pilot. And then you go up that last lift hill in the darkness, and then it's like all the Star Wars stuff. There's the TIE Fighters and Star Destroyer. But this one's mostly just the dark and the music, and it's perfectly synchronized, so it's great. But this ride is just still a toilet bowl. It is just, you go up and it's just down, like you don't do a lot of big drops, which I like. So there's like a few little ones here and there, but it's mostly just this. And they don't have a lot of space, and they did the best they could with it. No pun intended. But no, my favorite here out of both parks or just Disneyland?
Start with Disneyland and then out of both.
Because I have a personal attachment.
Oh, God.
Oh.
He's talking about Matterhorn.
Matterhorn. Oh.
I don't know where this came from.
I did a part in the video about it. So if you watch it, you can all do the Matterhorn chant. If you see the Matterhorn. Chant. I love the Matterhorn. Okay. I started figure out why. I love Space Mountain in Disney World. I love Matterhorn in Disneyland. They're kind of similar. They're both steel tubular track coasters, kind of Mad Mousey, kind of rough. That's kind of the point. But especially at night, the views. Yeah. It's actually, I think, in some ways scarier than Everest. Because the noise on when you're going on the lift hill and they've got like Harold the abominable snowman who's going after you, he's like prowling that ride, and like you see him, he's freaky.
He's not a cute little thing.
No,
like now that they updated it.
Yeah,
I don't think I've been there since they updated him.
Yeah, he's scary.
It was like the little one before, and he's
always like yeah. This one is he's like coming out to get you.
Yeah.
One time he was not moving much, but I really enjoyed Matterhorn, and I think. Again, it's because I just have a personal attachment to it. And there's something, it feels historic. It's had a lot of changes over the years. Yeah. I like the nods to like Frank Wells, the one they have up in the kind of at the top of the lift hill. I like, there was a time when we were kind of racing somebody else, and I think I got it on camera, and we kind of like looked at each other, and there's like this moment, kind of like in Radiator Springs Racers, where you're kind of like neck and neck, but you kind of see other people, and you like wave, and you're like, like that. And then you're like, you'll never see these people again. You know, like,
for sure.
Yeah, Matterhorn is just pure. But also, I rode it 3 times.
Whoa.
This next one, Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain there is terror incarnate. There's like 70 drops. Okay, that's a little bit of there's a lot though. And
or more than
the water is moving. There's one segment near the beginning that you see the water like kind of making a turn, like a little bit of, and it's like swirling. I was like, oh man, we're gonna be cruising. And I was like the only person riding it.
Well, and that's like log flume style, where it's one person in front of the other, right?
Oh yeah, yes, it was. So you could sit like 5 people.
But are you sitting like with the person, or is there a seat in between?
There's a seat, yeah. Okay. But I would never know because I only rode it alone. And if you ride it alone, they put you. I was like, "Can I sit in the back?" They're like, "No, you have to sit in the 3rd spot." So I sat in the 3rd like area. And so the next day I went because I was trying to get cast members to ride it with me. And this one guy's like, "I'm sorry, man, I can't." He's like, "I feel like I should just quit my job right now, ride with you." I was like, "Steven, my guy." But so the next day, there was like a few people ahead of me, and I was going on pretty late at night. I was like, "Can I wait for my own like ride?" And this lady, she's like, "It's that's totally fine with me." And she like made another group like wait so I could go alone. And I was like, "Thank you so much." And she's like, "No, it's my pleasure." Like some of those cast members like make you feel good for being insane. Like like they're okay, you're crazy. But yeah, Splash Mountain is wild. It's scary. There was one. I hope I got it on camera. There's one toad or frog that was like kind of messed up. And this is a ride where you're like on a water flume and you're like in a cartoon of like anthropomorphic animals. But there's one frog, I kid you not, who was doing this. He was sitting in the back, not moving. Just eyes up at his head. And there's one goose. Ew. One magic goose. You're coming around this corner, and they don't have lights on him, and he's like kind of peeking around a tree. So you're kind of like looking around, and he's like right there. And by yourself, that ride is a little scary. Like it's excellent.
Oh, I need to do it.
It's excellent, and it's showing its age a little bit because there's like a moment where Brer Rabbit is going on a minecart, and he's supposed to be like pumping it to go across. He was like holding it. It's straight forward. It's straight backward. So good. I loved it.
Oh my god.
And also Pirates of the Caribbean.
You haven't said my favorite of all time.
I'm sorry. Pirates of the Caribbean is so good there. It is so good. I could ride it again and again.
But Toad?
Mr. Toad, I adore.
I love that ride. That's my favorite ride of all time.
Of all time?
Other than Carousel of Progress.
Okay, let's talk about it. Like, would you ride it again and again because of like the thrill? You love it because of the memory.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, it's a lot of cardboard cutouts that are like slamming against walls.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
Kay's like, no drops from me, bro. I love Mr. Toad. I was wearing a shirt, the Mr. Toad Wild Ride shirt, and somebody noticed it because I was talking about it. And then one of the train conductors who was like waiting for the train, he's like, whoa, what are you doing? He's like, that's pretty sweet, dude. And I was like, yeah, check this out. And I had the socks on too. And they're like, oh, so I was like, I'm trying to go for like Disneyland rock star status. Like it's like I'm fully in it. I'm just like in that hot tub. Like some people kind of stick the foot in.
Yeah.
I'm like up to here. I'm like like not breathing anymore.
That's a really weird, like...
It's a good analogy.
I don't like it.
Metaphor. Simile, if we use like and as. Anyway, man, this has been an hour. This is great. Mr. Toad's good.
Okay.
I jokingly told people this should be a longer line. Like, I got it one day. I'm like, this line should be longer. Before, I was so lonely. Made a lot of friends, though.
I totally would have gone if I could have, but I couldn't.
I also met some lovely people on Smuggler's Run, and we got 2 coaxium.
Did you?
Yes. They were so cool, these people. I wasn't even planning on going on. I went on it earlier to do single rider, and the line wasn't moving. I'm like, I'm not going to wait for a ride I've already done. And so I went back late my last night, and I was like,
let's try it. We'll see.
And I also didn't want to be a third wheel to this super nice couple who I hope they reach out to me in the future, because I was like, hey, they were like, the guy was a former cast member, and we were just talking about stuff. So, and everyone was super cool. But then they were like going to go do Big Thunder, and I was like, oh, I could do that. And I was like, but I want to ride Splash again. So I like ran off to Splash. Aww. And then Indy, and then Pirates. I was cruising. That sounds like
a good night.
I tried to get Big Thunder in there too. I didn't have enough time. But Smuggler's Run with people that you meet is really cool too. It was great. Yeah. Anyway, so favorite, probably Matterhorn, like I said, then Splash, then Pirates, maybe?
Okay.
Even though Pirates, I just adore that Pirates. Oh, God, it's so good.
Of all time, though. You're saying, like...
Oh, of both parks?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd say space.
Oh, sorry. Oh, of Walt Disney versus Disneyland, which is my favorite ride.
If you only could ride one ride forever.
Oh.
His brain's going to explode.
People mover. I'm just kidding.
Actually sounds pretty lit.
That's like, Katie's like, at any age you could enjoy it.
You could probably eat on it, so it makes me happy.
Any ride, one ride forever. I don't know, man. That seems like a Disney duo.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have to do Disneyland first, and you have to watch a lot of ride footage.
Or like go there.
Yeah, you could do that too. But yeah, California Adventure was great though.
Yeah, what was California right there?
It's coming together. Maybe Radiator Springs Racers. I think the Incredicoaster is so good.
I was going to ask you about the Incredicoaster,
but that's a one and done for me. Yeah. I can't do that back to back. I know that about myself.
I don't know if I could do it once. I did it
the first time I did it though. I was literally yelling, "This is incredible!" while I was on it. It was so good. And they joke about in the queue line. They actually made some special, just like for the ride footage of like the actual Incredibles.
Oh, cool.
And they talk about that it's just an overlay to an old ride. Like some of the characters, like Violet and Dash, kind of talk about that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. But yeah, that ride is so good. That ride is so intense. And at night, forget about it. So good. Get front row. So good. But Radiator Springs, like I said, I rode it so many times.
Did you get to go there at night? Did you walk around Radiator
Springs? Yes. I made it both nights. I did. It was beautiful. I got a lot of footage of it. I was like, oh, this is so pretty. I wanted to be there when they turned on the neon lights at night, but I was
so cool.
But still, I was like, oh man. And using single rider is a no-brainer for that ride. I was like walking on that ride.
Oh, that's so cool.
And people were waiting like 90 minutes. I was like, no. Like
I don't know if I'd wait that long.
I was joking with single rider passengers, or like people who were like they were like going with like couples who were like, yeah, why would we wait? No, like, you guys get it. You get it.
But like once you get on a ride, unless it's something that you can really experience with other people, that could be a individual experience.
Yeah. Which there's a lot of single rider. There's like double the single rider there than there is in Disney World.
That's kind of nice though, because then you can choose if you want to do stuff together or not.
Yeah, I think that's great. I'd be remiss not to mention Soarin' Over California. The classic, the pure, should stay that way forever.
Yeah, you think?
It won't. It's only for a limited time. And I found out recently that Soarin' Around the World has a purpose, that each place you go to is indicative, apparently, supposedly, of a Disney movie or franchise. So Taj Mahal is like Aladdin. Africa is like Lion King. I don't know what the Arctic is necessarily. Might be a stretch.
Great Wall of China.
Mulan?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, because in the beginning, the Huns go over the wall.
Oh. Okay. Oh.
Still, I think Soarin' Over, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's this hang gliding simulator that they've recently redone to be soaring around the world, even though some portions of it are like Taj Mahal. You can't really fly over it, so it's just like CG. But the original version was just over California because it was at California Adventure.
Yeah. And
then they took that version to Florida. People are like, why are we flying over just or like California? What? Why? But California and this, oh man, the citrus and everything.
The smell, yeah.
It's all citrus. I was so stoked. I was like, Yeah. And the people who I was waiting in line with, the people who I was waiting for section B, row 1, every time, they were like, by people. They got it. I was like, it's worth waiting for this. I did notice that the one in Disneyland felt closer together than the one in Disney World. The Disney World ones, they seem further apart with all the seats, but these ones were really close. And I could see the functionality of the mechanics a lot better in this one.
That's cool.
It was really weird. I was like, whoa. I was like, oh my God. I was like, Joe would have loved this. He was like, but I know there's a screen, but I'd rather look at how the porridge is made. That's how Joe sounds in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, California Adventure's coming together. Yeah, they're doing what they can. And all the Pixar stuff, I think, really helps them. It's very Pixar heavy. Very Pixar heavy now.
And that was like your worst nightmare with Toy Story Land.
I'm not a Toy Story guy, and it's nothing against Toy Story. It's just that I have lived and do live in a house of antiques, and Toy Story just reminds me constantly of just stuff I don't need, just toys. I'm and then the guilt of being if toys were real, really alive, and not loving them anymore. It's
okay, Figment, we still love you.
And Toy Story 4, I'm sorry, unnecessary, and also not a great send off. Toy Story 3 is a better send off. There, I said it.
Whoa. Okay.
It's just weird. Just everybody watch it. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, I love The Incredibles. They're my favorite Pixar thing. I love them. I like Disney Animation Studios more. I love Tangled. I want a Moana dark ride.
Yes.
That would be very nice. I was gonna start swearing over here. I want more Moana in the parks. And this playful water thing they've got going on over at Epcot, I know it's not going to be good Moana representation.
No.
Give me a dark ride where I can go into Tamatoa's lair where it's all shiny.
That would be cool.
And you see the grandma, that ride would make you cry.
Oh, for sure.
I
could do
make it a water ride.
Multiple more dark rides. Multiple more dark rides, folks.
I want more dark water rides.
Yeah.
Give me those pirates. Give me those splashes.
Yeah.
Get the terror rolling. You'll hear me screaming on Splash Mountain. It's great. I don't like where the water goes. It's on my legs. I'm ah!
Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. Something to look forward to, everybody. Any other questions you have about Disneyland or Disney's California Adventure?
No.
Okay.
Not that I can think of.
What do you remember having a favorite ride there yourself?
Well, it's been so long. There's been so many updates and changes. So, Toad, I guess.
Yeah.
That.
Toad Hall is great. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But do you have a favorite, it is a ride, obviously, but how about Thrill Ride? I will say this, I like Big Thunder better there.
I was going to say probably Big Thunder.
And it's got more conifers. It's in a different part. It's great. It's more Northwestern.
I don't know, I would have to go again now that I like Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, which was down while I was there, so I can't talk about that.
I really liked Haunted Mansion this time, and I know you didn't, and I'm being such a millennial.
I know I like Haunted Mansion. No, I do. I think it's interesting because people love that ride for the atmosphere and looking at all the stuff. But as a ride, the feel of the ride, it's next to nothing. Right?
What do you mean?
There's not really thrills to it. There's not a twist or turn. There's not a specific portion. Maybe when you go backwards out the house, that's feels different and weird. Yeah. But you don't ride it. You don't have the same want to ride it again. I think as Big Thunder, where you're oh, the thrills, the feels.
I feel if you were in Paris, you'd feel differently.
That maybe, but that one just has more new stuff to look at. Again, it's the same. I'm just
talking about
Omnimover.
The idea of the
story. Oh, yes, for sure. I love the story. I think the Paris one's probably the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've heard this Paris Space Mountain is the best one, too, but that's more like Rock and Roller Coaster.
That looks so
inverted, fun. Or the angled launch, Hulk kind of ruined me, so I'm kind of scared of anything inverted like that because it makes me want to chuck buckets.
I think it's not so much the launch itself, but the first, drop.
Maybe.
Because it's, pretty much right after. There isn't any, oh, we're going to go around this little area. It's boom.
For a Hulk?
No.
For space?
Incredicoaster. Kind of, right? Because doesn't it go launch and then you kind of go down into
you launch drop? And then up a lift hill, right away.
Don't you go down a drop again, though?
Yeah, right. Yeah, a little bit after that.
I meant, after the lift hill.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah,
yes.
Yep. Yeah. But there's a launch into... Yeah, that's nuts. But yeah, so I would probably like that one better. But it's just interesting to me that people always say, Haunted Mansion's, their favorite ride. And I feel like Haunted Mansion is, again, kind of I don't ride Rise of the Resistance for the ride, it's like the feel of the ride. I ride it because of like the story, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's a little bit more so. Does that make sense?
No. Okay. But I'll pretend it does.
That's why I like Pirates so much, because I feel like it's a bit of both. I like the drops.
Yeah.
And I like the story going on.
Oh, there's a lot going on.
And I love the water. Water just makes things better and scarier. It's more water in Rise of the Resistance. Why
I was just thinking about like Na'vi River Journey.
Oh.
I mean, there are points in there that you can get scared if you want to.
Did you say Na'vi River Journey?
Na'vi.
Ma'ewa, ma'ewa, ma'ewa. That ride is better than Flight of Passage. Oh my gosh.
I love that ride. I've never seen Avatar. I really like that ride.
Katie's like...
And it was because it was a water ride and it was really pretty. Yeah. And I also felt like I was in a part of World of Warcraft, and I said that when I entered
You did.
Pandora.
I got off in Credicosta the first time, and I went and I rode The Voyage of the Little Mermaid. Because I was like, I need to sit down for a bit. I was like, this seems like a ride for me right now. Like, I was just like... And then it turned around to go backwards, so that part like goes underwater. I'm like, I was like, please no. And I'm like throwing shade because I'm looking at the differences between that one and the one in Disney World. Because this one at the end, you see Ursula in the background. In Disney World, you see her kind of like electrifying and like kind of dying. This one's just her as that kind of weird dark silhouette, just going like this. And like nothing's happening. And I was like, how do you explain this to kids? Like, what happened there?
Well,
I think most people who ride it know.
Well, I was gonna say you don't want to necessarily startle children like that.
I want to see freaking Prince Eric just ramming a boat right into her. That would be that's where I would waste the budget for that ride. I wouldn't have wasted it on Under the Sea. I would have made a huge room, like wind and water flying everywhere. A gigantic Ursula. Like that would have been straight terror.
She's pretty big.
She's
in that ride.
Oh, I mean, she would be full like King Triton,
giant,
yeah, like she'd
be
like, whoa, and you'd be running into her, like
that'd be sick.
That'd be so cool. I would. Oh my god, make that a water ride. I'm sorry
about it.
They would do that in like I think in Asia that would fly.
I'm kind of surprised that they didn't make that into a water ride. Do you think it's because of space?
And it's cheaper. Omnimover can get people through. I will say this though, Pirates is a people eater. That ride they can they fill up both those boats. That line is cooking all the time. It's great. Yeah. No, Haunted Mansion's great. It was under refurbishment, and I do want to see Holiday. I know some people absolutely hate the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay, the Haunted Mansion Holiday, but
I want to see it so bad.
I would probably like it more than the regular one.
I think I would too, but
even though I'm not a Nightmare fan,
I hear that the line is massive.
Yeah, and that's good for them though to have that representation for that weird movie.
Yeah, it's
super like
obscure.
If Haunted Mansion's like kind of a cult classic, then like having that overlay makes it even more distinct.
Yeah, it's like a cult inside of a cult classic.
Yeah,
like
what's next? We have Dwayne Johnson like being a skipper on the Jungle Cruise. No, I didn't ride that at all. By the way,
were you scared it was gonna?
Oh no, I didn't think about that at all. No, I just like looked at it and I was like, I'd rather ride Indy right now.
Yeah. It's not that I don't like Jungle Cruise. I think just as you age and you see it, once you're like...
Animal Kingdom kind of ruins a lot of the what Jungle Cruise is, I think, for me. But I still love Jungle Cruise. And I remember, I'll never forget being a captain as a kid. They let me steer, but I didn't.
They don't really do that anymore.
No, they do not.
And they don't have the guns or anything, right?
They had the guns at
Disneyland?
California.
They don't at Disney World anymore.
Yeah, I heard them popping off. Yeah, I could hear them when I was leaving the park because it gets really close to the park entrance.
Oh.
At one portion.
I'm surprised they do.
Yeah, anyway. I don't know. It's just part of the factor. But I was like, I like that it's right next to Indiana Jones, but I was like, I'm going on Indy. Like,
did you go on Swiss Family Robinson?
That is Tarzan's.
Oh, that's right.
No, Tarzan. I did not. I've done that in the past.
Okay.
But I like that one. I like that one better.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, because you know Tarzan.
I do know Tarzan, and I love the music. And hearing that music in there, it's great.
Yeah,
they play it. I'm like, mm-hmm. Any other rides you want to know if I went on?
You didn't go on Small World, right?
I didn't. I thought about it, but I didn't. I'm sorry, Small World.
Yeah. I think I like that one better than the Walt Disney World one.
That's the classic too. That's like the legit old school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the one they added the Disney characters to. Did they have them at Disney World? People were getting frustrated about that.
What?
I can't remember if they had it at Disney World. They started adding, like, Alice was, like, a doll in there, or, like, Aladdin and Jasmine.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they added that, which I think was cool. I like that. I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, any other questions? Rides? I did Roger Rabbit.
Oh. Did you go on Pinocchio? I
did go on Pinocchio, and it is just as sad and terrifying as it always has been. And also has a weird ending. He does not become a real boy, spoiler alert, and then you just end up in a room full of clocks.
I haven't been there for so long, I don't even remember.
It's weird. It's maybe one of the only Disney rides that has a swear in it anymore, I think.
A swear?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
There's a guy early on when the little boys are turning into donkeys, and it's not maybe necessarily a swear, but he does call him, like, the official term for a donkey sometimes when you ride through it.
Why?
Dark Disney.
Yeah, go back to those early on cartoons. They're real
some
dark.
Messed up stuff. Yeah.
They're really dark.
Where's that Black Cauldron dark ride? Am I right? No.
Why would you get rid of that under the castle? Like, I never got to see it. The Black Cauldron stuff.
Oh, that's in Tokyo. Yeah. Snow White was down, by the way, for refurbishment as well. They're apparently, reportedly making it less scary. So they probably won't call it Snow White's Scary Adventures.
Blasphemy.
I want them to revert it to the old, like the one we saw in Defunct Land or whatever, where it's like super scary.
She looks
coming out of nowhere really fast, just like like
she is like legit terror.
She was the one.
She's so scary.
She scared me more than any Disney villain, and it's funny because she's probably the weakest of the Disney villains. She has like no power.
That's true.
But she's I think the sense Fantasmic, where she's like, imagine this. Dun, 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 dun. She's like dancing around, and you're like, what? Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah. I do miss that ride, though, at Disney World.
Yes, me too. Now they've got Seven Dwarfs, which I think, and we'll maybe talk about this later in the question, that basically shows me, and not that Snow White wasn't a beloved, franchise or something like an entity that people didn't enjoy, and it obviously is the reason we still kind of continue to have all the Disney stuff we have today. But that ride has almost little, or it doesn't really follow much of a storyline, and it just picked an old Disney classic. To me, that means you could almost make, I think, almost any brand new ride that Disney makes, even if it wasn't Star Wars themed or something like that, you could make it popular. Mm-hmm. If it's cool enough. Like Journey to the Center of the Earth in Disney Sea, nobody's like, oh yeah, that's I love that franchise. It's like, no, it's just like a really cool ride.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
So, yeah.
Even the ride vehicle itself is just like, that's cool. I want to go in that.
I want to go so badly to Tokyo. Coming. Tokyo.
I want to go to
Tokyo. All right. Any other questions, or do you want to get to the question that was levied at you on Discord? It's on your phone.
Oh.
Which one is it? Community feedback and questions. We did it. Yeah, baby. Do we have any on here?
Is this the one?
Yes. This is from, I always say it wrong.
Percy Valkyr?
Valkyr? Yeah.
Valkyr?
Kira. Hi, Kira.
Kira, is there any Disney or Pixar property you'd like to see get its own ride that never has or is no longer accessible? Such as it being revamped, redesigned for a new property. Personally, I'd love to see a dark ride themed after the animated short Firebird Suite from Fantasia 2000.
Great pick.
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like they could, if they wanted to, I think there could be a really cool dark ride about Up.
Oh, sure.
There's so many elements you could do with that.
If you could, which ride?
It'd be to revamp it.
Yeah, if you could revamp a ride. I'm trying to think of what you'd do. Not that you have to do that, but that's kind of what I feel like she was talking about, maybe.
Navi River Journey.
Just hang it. Well, you could kind of bleed that one a little bit.
No. Okay, let's see if there's something particular that could be completely wiped out. I am okay.
Do you want me to go first?
Yep.
Okay. So I've been thinking about doing this for a while because I've been doing wishlist videos here for a bit, and there's this kind of rumor theme idea that Disney will open a fifth gate, which is a fifth park, focused on the villains. I think it's an amazing idea. I was talking to Joe about it, and he didn't seem as keen, but I think if you're in the Disney fandom, there is a love for Disney villains.
Yes.
I think you take the old idea that they had for Animal Kingdom, which was this kind of the Beastly Kingdom portion, where you kind of fly through a dragon horde, and it was kind of like you were bats, kind of like swinging. I think you do that, but you do it the Chernobyl from Fantasia. You do Night on Bald Mountain, and you make it a terrifying skeleton roller coaster where you come face to face with this guy, and he's like throwing fireballs at you.
That sounds real dark. Hey, Disney, get on it.
I'm just saying, if you make like a more like villains kind of scary themed park, and now the question is, like Kira said, what if you had to like revamp a ride to do that? I don't really know. Like maybe Matterhorn. Like instead you have that. Like you keep the ride layout the same, but then you just make it Bald Mountain, so it's like Fantasyland.
What are we talking here, though? I mean, if we're talking in like, because we have gone to Disney World, I haven't been to Disneyland, so it'd be hard to know for sure.
Or like which rides they haven't made stuff based on.
Well, just as far as revamping an existing ride.
Sure. Well, you got the question over there. You
no, I'm just thinking about which one I would revamp. Maybe Alice.
Alice? They just revamped Alice.
But like totally redo.
Oh, what would you turn it into? He's like, that's where my up ride goes.
No, because that wouldn't make any sense. Up would make sense in like Animal Kingdom somewhere, I think.
Sure. Or you could do it at California Adventure with all the Pixar stuff.
That's true. Ooh, I get a lot of hate for that though. I was just thinking like the Monsters Inc. They revamped that from the limo ride.
Yes, which was terrifying. And Monsters Inc.'s pretty cute.
Yeah, it is really cute, and I like that. But they, that they use like some of the. Well, we watched a video together.
They use the old animatronic. There's one in particular that's very scary, and I'm like, I remember you.
That was a terrifying ride.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to answer that question.
Redo Midway Mania with Up stuff. There you go.
I'd be for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You could make that into a dark ride and remove. I mean, the screens are so thin though. You wouldn't be able to put like actual animatronics or anything.
You just rip it all out. Rip it all out, Disney. You can do it. It's fine. You got the money. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they never get rid of Mr. Toad. I don't know who else I'd want in there instead. I would love a Robin Hood dark ride though. Rip out Pinocchio and put Robin Hood in. You're welcome.
But it's so old at this point. You think they do it? I mean, they do it with like out. Sleeping Beauty and
they did it with Snow White. That's the thing about Snow White.
True that.
How cool would a Robin Hood ride be? And for people who don't know Robin Hood, it's an anthropomorphic fox that dresses up as a crane to join up in an archery competition. It's amazing. He shoots an arrow incorrectly and shoots another arrow at it to correct it. It's wonderful.
It's really good.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, but I would go piggyback off what you're talking about with a villain's park in general.
Yeah.
And there's just so many things. You could open up a whole can of worms talking about that.
Well, if you want, you can help me make that video one day.
Oh, for sure.
Just idea-wise. I just have so many ideas. I think it's a great idea. Especially now with Epic Universe coming to Universal, like their third park, which that name is kind of weird to me, but I wonder if Disney's going to be like, you've got 3 parks, we've got 5 parks. And then it's like, okay, now you have to stay at Disney for a week now, at least. You won't be able to see it all. You know what I mean? Like, it'll get to that point where you can't. Like, now you can't even do that, but...
Well, and it's so hard because Disneyland itself is in such a place that there's not any room for expansion.
Not unless they shut stuff down and redo it. Which by the way, Disneyland, they've upped their prices, but I get it because now Disneyland is like Magic Kingdom plus Hollywood Studios smashed together. It's nuts.
How much space do they even have left? Nothing? Are they using everything?
Not that I know of. And but they're also adding Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway to Toontown, which I didn't think they had any space for, but they have space there. Somehow. Yeah. Oh.
I don't know, maybe some Toontown portion could be...
Katie's like, get rid of that. Katie's like, get rid of Gadget Go Coaster. Make it up. Katie's like, that's fine with me. I'll take that. More Figment, Katie wants. Katie wants more Figment. I saw Figment while I was there. And Guardians of the Galaxy. He's up in the collector's. He's in Tivian's collection.
What?
He's way up in a box.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Little Figment, yeah.
See, I love stuff like that. These like little Easter eggs. He's
and
so cute.
There was an Ultron bot, which wasn't James Spader's voice, but he would talk every once in a while because I was trapped in there, and he would start singing like the Pinocchio song, "No Strings on Me," or he would talk about stuff. I was like, this is really cool.
Do they have Skippy?
They do not have Skippy.
No, I was looking for a Skippy stuffed animal the other day online.
Skippy!
It's so expensive.
Poor Skippy, yeah. Ooh, that's rough. I find that if they tell you to wait, a lot of people leave the rides, or at least that's what happened at Universal. And then I waited like 2 minutes and the ride was back up, and I was like, cool. So if you're ever like waiting for a ride, maybe wait just a few minutes first, and then if they're like, hey, we're shut down due to technical difficulties, if you want to stay in line, you can, or if you want to leave, you can. Just wait it out. Just like 5-10 minutes. Might be worth it. That's what I found anyway. I was like, okay, bye. Bye. Guardians that's a fun time. That's a fun. I made friends on that too. Dude next to me was like, sorry, man. I'm like, I hope you don't mind me. I'm going to be yelling a lot. And I was like, sorry, I'm going to be filming a little bit. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm breaking a rule. And I was like, this is like the perfect ride to do it on, right? Because that's what we're doing. We're breaking rules. And also, the best thing about that ride is in the beginning, they have to scan your hands.
Oh, that's what that is.
So people put their hands up to scan it, but it's also to get people to put their hands up on the ride. Because, like, we got to scan your hands. Everybody put your hands up. So everybody does that. So it just, like, they start doing it up and down. People have their hands up and stuff.
Oh.
So, yeah. It's fun. It's a fun. I probably waited longest for that ride, I think. Because I was like, I got to do this at least once.
I need to go on that ride.
Yeah, you'd like it. Yeah. Cool. Excellent. Well, thank you for sending in your question, Kira. We do appreciate it. And anybody else, I did put up that kind of poll a little bit later, kind of questions. So if you guys have any future questions for Katie, we'll definitely kind of bring them up later on because she can be back on the show. We can have her back if you want. If you want.
Really?
Yeah.
Why am I doing that? I don't know why.
All you have to do is tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast to our official account on Twitter, which is @GoCritical, or at me personally, I'm at JimmyGood013. Or if you want to tweet at Katie, where can they find you?
Katie Bronson, 48.
Nice. And one person used this recently. His name is Wes. Thank you, Wes. We do have an email we never talk about, but it's gocriticalreviews@gmail.com. So if you have like a longer question or you have like some feedback or whatever, please send it my way because I love opening my email and not getting something that is just like business related. Like it's so much better. Or like just even leaving a comment, just letting us know if you like this. We've gotten a few new people here for me being over at the Easy Allies or being on Theme Park History. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Let me know what you guys want to see and let me know what you think about all this stuff. And yeah, if we're going to film like this in the future, we might need a better camera. Like the setup, I know I'm like just sitting on my bed here. This is like a weird shot. Like I'm kind of over too much here and it bothers me. But anyway, let us know. I want your feedback. I appreciate it. But thank you for being on.
Yeah, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and go to Critical Reviews Patreon.
Yeah, if you want to support us, that'd be great.
If you'd like to. Oh, poor Figment.
Figment,
He just took a dive.
He took a dive. Yeah, I know. You guys know what to do. I appreciate it. Thank you for just hanging out and supporting us in any way. Just even watching this or listening to it at work. And I'm sorry we're a little bit late here because I took a week off, but don't worry. Bonus. We're going to be all caught up. It's going to be great. Just got some editing to do. And then the Disneyland vlogs and the Universal Hollywood vlogs will come out eventually, but I have to finish up my other wishlist video first.
I'm so excited for those. I'll be editing
you
them,
guys,
I will be watching them too.
You guys don't even know the little adventures and escapades I got into, especially going alone. I think it helps that I'm kind of a gregarious, outgoing, extroverted type of person. Probably came off as a little annoying at times, but I usually apologize to people, so they're pretty cool with it. I'm like, I'm sorry if I did too much. They're like, it's okay. Like, it's good. You're having fun. I was like, we're all having fun. We're all here for the same reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you to everybody who's supporting us on Patreon. Currently, right now, I'm going to start putting their names up so people can see them because they're lovely people. And yeah, until next time, just remember to
adapt and overcome.
Yes.
Have a good day. I don't know what I'm doing. I was gonna throw it. I was gonna throw it, and then I was like, "There's too many items over there that could break." And
it was the last podcast he ever shot.
Oh, no.
All right, you ready to do this for real?
Okay, bye.
No, I meant like.
Adapt and overcome. Bye bye.
Okay, you just sit right there for a second, okay? Crazo.